Woof woof.
Dogs, yeah, when dogs see a bicyclist, and a lot of times when you're on back roads in somewhere like Minnesota or Illinois or New Mexico was horrifying. Louisiana was horrifying. Packs of dogs that you're not even sure they're tied to a human. They're just feral. And in a lot of rural places, you'll have dogs. The second they see you, they're in full charge, attack mode, and they want to chase you down. And over the years, what I've learned that has kept me safe when other people actually got bit by those same dogs. What I do when I've got dogs running out, I can't just outrun it. I know the dog is going to enter the road. I stop. I just dead stop on the bike, and typically I'm wearing some kind of ear protection anyway for traffic, or I've got earplugs in, or my headphones, listening to music, and so I will just stop dead right there and look at traffic. That's the first thing I do is figure out, the dog might start circling me and walking around in the road, and if I can, I see the dog before I even have a chance to stop. I'm assessing what traffic is up to, and I've waved down cars and gotten in the middle of the road and started waving way before the dog came out because I knew they were going to come out into the road. But once you just stop completely, the dog does a 180. It changes its attitude, and it goes from chasing to just standing there and barking at you. And at that point, it's up to you how you're going to sneak away from there. But after a while, the dog will just kind of get bored and start to tolerate your presence a little more. And you can, put the bicycle between you and the dog. Like if you have to get off the bike, you're going to probably walk it away some distance so that you can get far enough away from the dog. So you pretty much, I've had a lot of dogs that were bluff charging me, or, charging me, and anytime you turned your head the slightest bit away from them, they would come in as if to bite you. And I've had a lot of, your mileage may vary, but I've had a lot of instances when I just let them approach me that way, and they will touch you with their nose, and then they're done. That's all they wanted. And apparently, then they just pretty much wander off at that point. I've had dogs come up to me very aggressively, and I let them approach me. I completely ignored the dog, and eventually you'll feel a little wet nose touch your calf. And if you're that used to dogs that you can do that calmly, you don't even have to chase them away or yell at the dog. You can just stand there and ignore it. And the dog is not going to attack you when you're just standing there and not paying any attention to it. It just doesn't happen. If it did, then you're in danger anyway, and that dog was going to bite you or the next person anyway. So, I've had a lot of instances with very aggressive dogs where I didn't do anything. I just stopped and just stood there and waited. And usually it's the owners that will be coming out yelling at their dogs and kind of driving the circumstances into a more of a frenzy, with those, I tend to tell them that their dog's fine. It's fine, just relax. This happens all the time. And to try to calm down the owners so that they're not adding to the situation. But in a lot of places, you ride past dogs and they don't give you a second look. But there are rural areas, Mississippi and New Mexico. New Mexico has some rough customers out there.